The magic button.
There it is. There it is.
There we are. We are officially live for show number 3.
Is this it? I thought we did an intro. Is this 4? I don't even know.
Okay, well, don't quote me on that.
3 and 4.
Maybe, yeah, right? Yeah, we've only been around for like 3 weeks, so I guess.
All right, let's edit that.
4. Yeah, it is 4. Yeah,
It is 4? Wow.
It is,
Really?
it is the 4th week. Mm-hmm.
There you go. How's everybody doing today? You guys having a great day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really well. Busy.
A good morning of meeting with investors for some of us.
Yeah.
And we're excited. So today on the show, as you guys know at MREG, we're always trying to change things up. Obviously, we talk about multifamily investing. We throw in a little single family and economic forecasts or whatever's on the agenda. But Toby, why don't you talk a little bit about what we got on the show for today in the next 15, 20 minutes?
Yeah. So as you guys can see, the group is growing exponentially. And so we really want to just kind of take some time, maybe once or twice a month, to just highlight some members, get to know them, what they're doing, what they're looking to do, and kind of just showcase how awesome this group is and how awesome it's becoming.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, why don't you give us a quick intro on Jason? Toby, you invited him to be on here, and then he can chat.
Yeah. Where do I start? Oh, we got Brad joining in right now as well.
Oh, awesome. Hey, Brad.
Hey, guys.
Hi, Brad.
We're gonna let Jason chat a little bit about himself, where he's at, what he thinks about multifamily aspirations, what he does. Not too much, just a few minutes, and then we'll have you hop on. But you can stay on, Brad. You're good. Thanks for making it.
So, Jason, we talked. What was it? Yesterday? 2 days ago?
2 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're new to multifamily, but not new to real estate investing, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, so I started off, I bought an Airbnb just right before the pandemic started in Nashville, Tennessee.
Great timing. Yeah.
Great. So it was a $600,000 property. And so kind of took it to the next level, I guess, for my first one, and decided that it scared me when the pandemic hit because I was too afraid that I was going to be stuck with it and not be able to rent it out. Ended up selling that, went in and bought a single family in North Carolina. And I thought I was going to go down the single family route. Then I realized really quick that single family homes weren't scalable at all. So I started looking at the multifamily space. So my brother and I kind of started looking around and doing that. He has experience in the assisted living, skilled nursing arena. He's been in that for over 15 years.
Cool.
He oversees 72 facilities right now. So we're trying to look to see about converting existing apartments or converting existing hotels into possibly assisted living facilities.
Nice. That's cool.
Jason, your first couple of properties, how'd you guys decide North Carolina and Nashville?
We had teamed up with a company out of Indiana that basically just had a portfolio of single family homes, kind of showed this was the cap rate on them. We decided basically just on the cap rate and where everything was growing at. It's right outside of Raleigh where it's located at.
Nice.
So,
it's a hot area.
Yeah. So we bought that and they want you to pay in cash. So that was kind of the whole thing, was buying properties in cash just really wasn't sustainable at the single family with what we were getting every month in return on it.
Now, Jason, where do you actually live? I guess I didn't even grab that.
So I live about 30 minutes east of St. Louis, right next to Scott Air Force Base, if you're familiar with that at all.
Missouri, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm on the Illinois side, the side that likes to tax you. So
and what's your current day job?
So currently I fly for FedEx. I've been there for 6 years, fly international for them. Prior to that, I was flying for the regionals. I did that for 10 years. So I've been now flying almost 16 years professionally now. I just turned 40, so I'm looking for somewhat of a career change, I guess.
Nice.
Yeah.
Kind of an altitude switch, I would assume.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for it. All right, let's get some jokes out.
As you're transitioning into this multifamily, what are some of the immediate barriers or the headaches you're getting trying to get into this converting into senior assisted living properties?
So I think the biggest thing as of right now, we're just trying to figure out where we actually want to do it. I mean, everybody knows where the hot markets are at. It's Texas, Arizona, Florida.
Yep.
And so looking at that, how are we going to be able to get in there, afford something, or be able to bring the investors in and believe in what we're selling, or what we can provide to the end user. So I think that's where we're at right now, as far as just trying to put that all together, be able to go out and pitch investors and see how that plays out.
I would assume there's plenty of tax credits, or there's a number of tax credits or incentives out there for such a thing. Or?
So there's two ways to go. You could do the private pay model, which is going to be the most lucrative.
Okay.
And then there's also, the Medicaid model, which is good in its own right, but there's a lot more stipulations on everything that has to go into the Medicaid side of it.
Right. Yeah. Cool.
But my brother is the one that kind of is heading all of that. He knows the laws, he knows the regulations. He has the contacts in almost every state to get in there and expand. So
it's a huge market. I mean, obviously the boomers are aging out, and there's just going to be a tremendous. I think for like 100 years, there's been 10,000 people turning 65 or something like that. I hear these numbers all the time, and so it's a good niche to get into. I mean, there's a million niches in real estate, right?
Yeah, and especially as time goes on, I mean, advances in science, people are living longer, and the villages in Florida is a prime example of people are wanting that communal aspect to that later on in life, where everybody's kind of at the same stage instead of being separated from one another.
Yeah.
So.
That's awesome, man. Well, that's good. Anything you're looking for in our MREG Facebook group, as far as connections or raising capital, or I don't know if you have any.
I think just kind of learning how to put together a deal, learning how to underwrite a deal, I think is probably going to be something that we've never done before. So I think looking for people either to partner with or looking for help in looking over an underwriting deal, so we can take to investors to be able to show them what the potential would be.
Sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's definitely something that we will touch on. We've got two master underwriters here on the call, Aaron and Vienne. So we'll definitely do some different segments and different educational things that you'll definitely like.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Well,
hey, Jason, thank you so much. We're going to transition over to our other guests now, but everybody that's watching this now live or over the next few weeks and months, reach out to Jason Smith. Was that right?
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, he's in the group, and he's just looking. The cool thing about you, Jason, is you're not location centric. You're just what's going to make sense.
I mean, I could pretty much anytime I need to go somewhere, I could just go over to the airport. I fly for free, so
right.
I can get anywhere in the country fairly free.
With or without Wilson.
Yeah, Jason Smith is your boots on the ground countrywide.
Pretty much. Yeah.
That he needs to get Wilson and start having that on some of his shows.
I'm going to go ahead and put a shelf in behind me with a Wilson volleyball. So,
hey, thank you so much, man, for being on.
No problem. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Jason.
Yeah, thank you, Jason.
Yeah, and feel free to hang on or hang up or do whatever you want. All right.
It's up to you.
All right, we're going to get over to Brad Pickett now. Hey, Brad, how's your day going, man?
Awesome, guys. How's it going? Hello from Miami.
Yes, very cool.
Yeah, thank you for sparing us the shame and keeping your shirt on with your.
We won't want to be on the beach with that
I was
wind.
joking around with Toby. I'm like, do you think this is going to be like a swimsuit shot down at the pool? But Brad was like, it's a little windy. I'm going to go inside.
Yeah, I visualized this perfect shot. The beach and the wind blowing and the palm trees, but it wasn't happening.
Not the day.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Well, tell us a little about yourself, Brad. I mean, obviously you did the intro video. Thank you a couple weeks ago, but yeah, rehash some of that. Tell us a little about your investing experience and real estate. What you got going with real estate.
Sure. I'm located in Scottsdale, Arizona, out here in Miami right now for the 10X. And by the way, Vienne, I thought you were going to be out here. What's going on? That doesn't look like Miami.
Oh no!
Grant Cardone. This is huge. Yeah,
I was supposed to be in July. I'm going to that one. Yeah.
Oh, you're going to that one. Okay,
Yeah.
even better.
Yeah.
So
we
yeah,
know
live in
July, so-
Scottsdale. Been pretty much a full-time real estate investor for 21 years now. When I started out, I was working as a loan officer, I guess. So that probably doesn't count, but been a loan officer, been a mortgage broker, real estate broker, done short sales, worked at a title company in markets primarily San Diego, Idaho, Arizona. And then once I got into Arizona, which was about 5 years ago, I started doing nationwide wholesale and just learning how to. I feel like there's two big things I overcame in real estate investing. The first one was realizing that you can buy real estate without any money. That's big for people that are just starting out.
That's a big deal.
And number two is realizing you can buy real estate outside of your geographical location, whether that's sight unseen with single family. I wouldn't say you could really do sight unseen with multifamily, but you can still work and do, you can work in any market. So once I got into Phoenix, I started buying homes sight unseen in multiple markets that I've never even been to. And just kind of got, I don't know, maybe a little burnout on the wholesale scene. Decided it was time to upgrade and start working on something that was going to be, that feels a little more professional, and that can pay the bills a little bit more consistently without with wholesale, it's just such a dramatic force of energy going on all the time. It's very vertical instead of horizontal. And so, you just feel like you're constantly going and going and going and going. And I just got kind of burned out on that. Started working and joined up with Cardone's group in the, what do they call it? The real estate club, I guess is what it's called. And been awesome ever since then.
That's so cool. How long ago was that you started teaming up with Grant Cardone?
That was December.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of a new pivot for you. That's neat.
Yeah, just, I'd been working in multifamily a little bit before that, not much. Don't have a ton of experience, just had some duplexes and triplexes and probably closed over 1,100 transactions on the single family. So a lot of real estate experience, but just ready to get going in the multifamily. And I'll tell you what, man, I mean, I'm not here to promote Grant Cardone, but being in that group was like an accelerator. I mean, I went from never doing a multifamily deal to being on a contract with Grant Cardone, which was amazing. We ended up pulling out on the deal which sucked because I wanted to do that deal so bad, and be his partner. But we ended up pulling out on the deal because the kind of an interesting thing that we can kind of segue into here is some of the things that happen with multifamily. So in this particular case, this was a multifamily building in Conway, Arkansas, that was a student housing building. So right then and there, that took out all of our Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, institutional lenders,
oh, wow. Yeah.
and our debt funds pretty much too. So
wow.
we were down to just local banks. And when we finally did find a loan, it was low fives, high fours, and it wasn't interest only. It was, fully amortized.
Right.
So that was hard. And then when we actually did our lease audit, we found that the income was even lower than what we had anticipated based off the OM. So we're just like, look, man, I mean, I'm not here to go broke, and I'm not here to like bring in $1.5 million of my investor friends' money, all of which I met through this group and raised in the same event you're going to, Van. We raised 2.2 million in the room in like, I don't know, 10 minutes. It was awesome.
Did you guys,
Wow.
I mean, nobody likes to do this, but did you guys have to go back and retrade, or, I mean,
yeah,
salvage
I
the deal?
agree totally, Toby. It's like retrading it's really dirty business, and wholesaling especially. I pretty much never did it unless I had a really good reason to. And in this case, it could be considered a retrade, but I mean, essentially we just said, look, here's our number. Here's our pro forma. We'll even send you the pro forma. Here's every expense we used. Here's exactly where we got this. And hey, we're even putting more on here we're even giving you guys the benefit of the doubt. We're using the same numbers that the bank's underwriting us with.
Yep.
So we showed them our underwriting. We're like, look, we can, we had to be, I don't know if I should disclose all the numbers because there could be the people that are buying it could be in this group too. But anyway, we had to drop it down considerably to make it work. And we just told the broker straight up, and and he was pissed. We were pissed. Everybody was pissed. But it's like, what are you going to do, man? I'm not going to take my investors through the mud just for, I don't know. I think it's integrity to pull out like that. So that's what we did.
Yeah.
There you go.
Massive integrity.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Quite an experience though, man. I mean, going from 0 to 600,000 to back to 0 again. I'm just like, whoa, what even just happened?
Right.
I'm like, Grant's my partner. No, he's not. Maybe he will be again. I own
Uncle
a
G.
family. No, I don't.
Uncle G. Come back.
That's some serious whiplash,
Oh my gosh, man. And then I'm like, so then I'll ask you guys, just open this up, candid conversation. Like, then I start thinking, okay, maybe is this like, negative thought processes, or is this kind of a reality? Like, and I want you guys to give me some feedback on this, because I'm like, dude, is it possible right now that we're at the top of the market? And that it might, it's just something that, like, I don't want to put, I don't want to like, I always think that a person should just be in a go position, but man, I don't know. That's a tough one. I'd love to get some feedback.
Cash flow trumps all, and that's kind of our philosophy, right? We're going into stable markets, and we're going into markets that are cash flowing. We're not banking on appreciation. We're not banking on any of those variables that could potentially be drastically affected by anything else going on. People are always going to need a place to stay, and they're always going to have, and the governments are always going to back us up in that sense. So I'm sure Aaron can give us a more detailed economic answer. He's our smart guy. He's our resident smart guy.
I always dress up as a smart guy. That's what I'm told to do. I will say this to somewhat counter Toby, at least as a devil's advocate, is the notion that maybe cash flow isn't as king as we thought. And when we look at the underwriting over and over, I'm not convinced that cash flow is not the king. However, if we can't find a way to force appreciation, we're not going to be able to deliver those returns.
Value add might be over cash flow even.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And that doesn't have to be in just rent increases. I mean, it can be, as we're finding out in some of the other properties, just impacting the NOI gets us to where we need to go. And we've got to find those deals that others don't. And I say this not because we know better, but because we're in that fight as well. And
so that's a really interesting conversation. And I don't know if there's even the right terms for this, but I feel like these tertiary markets, I even actually feel like Conway, where I had this building, was one, because it was like a tertiary market of Little Rock.
Yeah. And I like Conway. I've been there. I love it. It's nice
and it's kind of an upper class tertiary. There's like all these variables when you look at like eutrophication in an area and like what's happening. But there are those areas where it's still affordable. I mean, you come into Phoenix and they've had to create these debt funds just in order for us to even be able to get loans on these apartment buildings, right? Wow. So that's got to tell you something. I mean, these people are still making, the stuff that's selling right now in Phoenix, $100 million property, they're making $40 million in like 6 years or 5 years on it, So, wow. But what I'm saying is you have to have these super aggressive debt funds that come in to even get you to where you can even fund the whisper price. Versus like that's where I'm saying we're stretched. But there are still those markets, I believe, and it's kind of hard to find it because you want to be somewhere where, in my opinion, it's over 100,000 in population. So you've got plenty of people and job force. But then on the other hand, you don't want it to just be some busing metropolis where, I don't know. But yeah, it's an art, right? Finding those particular areas.
And that's the thing to me about whether we're at the top of the market or not. I always think we kind of plan. We should probably plan that we are, but nonetheless, it doesn't matter where we are. All our positioning within the market cycle, I think, all it does is shift us into
determine hold times.
Yeah, hold times in areas.
Yeah,
I really think that's
because technically, you look at real estate, you're never at the top.
No.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah.
And there's no national
like if you buy right, like you say, like buy right, finance right. So
yeah,
yeah,
exactly. And what I was saying about cash flow is if we were currently in a holding position, we're not going into a deal and only looking at cash flow. If we're currently in a holding position, crap hits the fan kind of thing, we know that we've got the cash flow to support, whatever fluctuations there are in the market.
Yeah, and the loan to cost being 70% or less is good too.
Exactly. Yeah. So Brad, so what would you say, like, ever since you transitioned to multifamily, what would be like the 3 key things to be successful in this business?
The fastest way to die in this business is to try to stretch your rents.
Okay.
Plain and simple, man. I mean,
so data manipulation. We see a lot
I don't
of that,
even know if it's, I don't even feel like people do it on purpose. But like if you're say you're doing an Airbnb and you're trying to say, oh, I'm going to bring in 20,000 in revenue or whatever it is, and you're stretching that a little bit and you don't quite hit it, that's not a big deal. But if you're doing a 200 unit and you stretch it, that's your mistake times 200. Every month, and so I have seen, without being specific, I've seen deals where people have came in and put earnest money in and pushed it too hard, man. They like, it's no different than getting that emotional attachment to doing something, whether it's your first flip. Like when I see people doing their first real estate flip, I'm just like, oh my God. Like, good luck, man, because you do everything wrong, right? How do I know that? Because I did it 5 times, right?
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, this will work. But, stretching your rents in multifamily can end up losing you, $1 million in earth money. Or even worse, you're better off doing that than getting into a deal and losing other investors' money as well. So that's probably the biggest thing I've learned. You just got to be really honest about that. And then you got to have, second, I would say, is just the push through to continue to underwrite deals. And the very first thing you should be doing on every deal, in my opinion, is just comparing the rents to the local market. And it's really not that hard. I mean, you just go shopping like you're going to go rent a house or go rent an apartment in that area. So
exactly. Yeah. And guys, CoStar is a really good software to do that, where you can go there and do your rent comparison. So for new people out there.
Yeah, we were just talking about that today, actually. I ran into a guy down at the pool. We were going to do isn't CoStar, it's not really feasible for new people though, right? Because isn't it like $850 a month?
Yeah, you have
it can get pretty pricey. Yeah,
it can get pricey, but you can get multiple licenses, right, and share the cost.
Yeah, and then if you've got a good broker contact, this is where, like, making relationships. If you got a good broker contact, we've got brokers that have sent us CoStar reports in the past, or good property management contacts.
Yeah,
that does make sense. Yeah, I think we're about ready to purchase that. The guy that I was talking to, we can get a few people in to split the cost and make it worth it.
Yep, exactly.
Have you guys used it to skip trace owners?
We have used Reonomy to skip trace to get that kind of data for direct to seller campaigns. But we have considered pivoting to that. But I mean, we've got such a robust pipeline right now that, like, deal flow is just is not necessarily an issue. So we haven't really looked into pivoting yet, per se.
Yeah, and speaking of that too, that brings up my third point of what not to do is when you get involved in a deal, just stay with the one deal until it's done. Because so many people get, we're in this real estate club and there's got to be 300 people in the club, and you see them like, yeah, I want in on the deal. Yeah, I'll go look at the, put me on the GP team. I'll bring this, I'll do that.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden they're in 3 deals, and people just don't have the horsepower to do 3 deals. They don't have the personal time. They don't have the physical time. They don't have the cash. They don't have the fundraising ability. I mean, most people.
Yeah.
And especially when you're dealing with a bunch of new people, you want to make sure that the people on your GP team, that's all they're doing.
Yep.
I mean, that's huge.
Yeah. Stay in your lane, on a project that you're in. That's huge. Stay with one project. I like that. Well, that's awesome. I think we're going to wrap this up. This has been super helpful. And we appreciate, everything you've done for the MREG group here on Facebook and for being on the show. That's awesome. We'll have you back here again down the road. And anything else, Bien, Toby?
Yeah. Is there anything that any particular skill set or any relationship network that you're looking for? Kind of throwing that out there now. Is anybody in the group? How can they contact
first of all, I
you? All
just
that good stuff.
appreciate you guys putting this together. It's a great idea. This is such a team sport. I mean, I think a lot of investors making the transition from single family don't realize how much horsepower it takes to do this. I'm not trying to scare you away from it. It can be done,
Yeah.
but having a group where you can team up with people is priceless. So appreciate you guys for doing that. And I've got a huge network. If anybody wants to contact me, my email is brad@titanacq.com. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks for having me, guys.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for being on, Brad. We appreciate you.
All right, you guys. Hey, this was a great show. We appreciate everybody being on, and we will see you guys next week. Again, same time, same place, noon Central, 1 o'clock Eastern. Right? We good?
We're good.
That's it.
All right.
All right.
Hey.
We'll see you guys. Have a great day.
See you
Bye.
guys.